was telling Ian, I was just like,
Black. All right, we'll go ahead and call the Genesee County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. Mr. Clerk, please take roll.
Golden,
Present.
Winfrey,
Here.
Ellenberg. Here. Clemens,
Present.
Young,
Here.
Shoemaker,
Present.
Davis,
present?
Newman. Here. Peppin.
Here.
Right, we have invocation by Commissioner Peppin, followed by a pledge to the flag by Commissioner Winfrey.
Heavenly Father, watch over us this day. Watch over our health, our ideas, and have civility in what we do and say. Thank you for all the good things you have given us. Help us to grow and to help the needs of others and to be the best we can be. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, we have the approval of the meeting from the Board of Commissioners meeting November 10th. It's been moved, it's been supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item we have is public address to the board. Do we have any public address? You'll please give us your name, your address, city, and you'll have 2 minutes to address the board.
Only 3 people have signed up. Bobby Walton. I live in Davison Township. I think one of the things that we need to pay attention to today is the subject of bullying. Genesee County has been noted nationally for having a school board member who has pled guilty to using a telephone to call a person for political purposes and bullying them. I have in my notes a list of parents of children in the Davison schools who have been subjected to bullying. I was bullied when I was in school, and I'll bet you most of you have been bullied. It's not appropriate for an elected official to be bullying people. And when this body allows people who come here to testify to yell out and call names and shout and do the kinds of things that you do when people come up to speak, you're allowing them to bully us. So what I'm asking you to do is wield your gavel a little more sternly. And I also want to talk about the fact that the school boards are subject to bullying by those very same people. And these are people that are subject to political bullying. And now, the subject of whether children will be masked or not masked to protect their health and their safety is being left to a board that is subject to being bullied by the same people that yell and scream and shout. And I have to tell you, one of those people, who is not here today, but I have seen him out on the streets running with the rest of them, is on the Board of Health. You have the authority to remove that person. That person does nothing but join in bullying our Director of Public Health. You, as a body, do have the authority to remove that person. I'm calling on you today to do that. And the other thing that I want to also
10
ask
seconds.
you to do is to sit down with your Board of Health or your Director of Public Health and talk about the fact that it is the responsibility of the government to protect the children.
Time's up. Thank you.
Hi, Susan Hendricks, Grand Blanc, Michigan. Thank you for all your continuing work for Genesee County. I'm here to ask you to help continue the mask mandates in schools. Just this week, the Detroit Free Press reported that this 4th surge has shattered the record highest case rate so far in the pandemic. Over 60 children are hospitalized and a 54% increase since just November 3rd. 375 children are being infected daily. We have no idea the long-term effects on children. Michigan is the worst in the nation in infection rates. 1 in 10 cases nationally are from Michigan. Influenza is also on the rise. Your first duty is to keep children in this county safe. While these rates are so high, kids will be going home for 2 long holidays with more travel than we've seen in a long time. People will be in close quarters. Infections will rise. Our numbers will not be down in January. They'll probably be higher. We've seen that many people are not disposed to protect others. They're not willing to vaccinate their children or wear masks, yet they insist on being put in classes to risk other people's children. The thought that everybody has the information about protection and vaccines to make decisions, assuming that misinformation and politics are not factors in people's decisions, but they are. People are not working from correct information, so they can't make protective decisions. A person's rights do not include putting other people in danger. There will be more cases, quarantines, disruption of classes, staff shortages will increase. All these will lead to school closings, which no one wants. Children may die. Families at home and community members will be put at higher risk. Many of them may die, and all this when we can easily protect children and families. Please keep up the mandates. It is imperative to protect the community from those who refuse to help the community get through this pandemic. I know there's a lot of pressure. Please do not let this keep you from doing your first duty of protection. You must use all the tools you have, do everything in your power to protect us all. Masks work.
10
To not
seconds.
use a tool that would have saved someone's child is unconscionable. I know you deeply care about our children in Genesee County. Keep them safe, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
My name is Kevin Bigelow. I'm the other side of what she just said. Masks do not work. I don't know how you guys cannot see the common sense in that. It's ridiculous. Now, I don't know if anybody here took me on the challenge to go see Young's Environmental Service, but they will tell you that masks do not work. It even says on the stinking box that masks don't work, that they don't stop any viruses. Asbestos, you do not wear an N95 mask, you will get asbestosis. And I'm telling you what, you know yourself that the virus is like 1,000 times smaller than anything like asbestos, okay? So it does not work. I don't know where these people are just scared. It does not work.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Chris Bozinski. I live in Davison Township. I had an entirely different speech ready, and then I read this most recent memo from the Health Department for the 5th time, and I got to tell you, I'm a little confused. It kind of feels like this is a hostage memo, like this was written with a whole bunch of wishful thinking, because it appears to be based on the availability of vaccines, not the actual recipient of vaccines. Vaccines for 12 to 15-year-olds have been available since spring, yet only 31% of in Genesee County has completed both doses. For 16 to 19-year-olds, it's only 39%. The newly released 5 years and up is it's less than 10%. So you don't have enough vaccines to counter the high transmission rates. Our positivity rates are 19%. In the last week, it's gone up 3%. So you have all this virus going around in classrooms, and now you're going to remove the masks while not enough kids are vaccinated. The removing of masks counters everything that we hear from all the other agencies, the CDC, the Health Department. It's a complete 180. I understand the reasoning that because you're 6 weeks out from a vaccine, that there's the possibility of it being safe. The reality on the ground is it's not still safe. It's not safe for those kids to be in the schools without their masks. Our local hospitals are putting out press releases to have people be responsible. We've got holidays coming up. People are going to be around each other.
10 seconds.
We know rates increased after the holidays last year. I just really would like this memo to be revised. Thank you.
Thank you.
Holger Spiewak, Davis, Michigan. I think it's pretty obvious that
both sides of the story have their own statistics, and as many statistics there are and research there is that the masks work and the vaccines work, there's just as much research and proof that masks and vaccines don't work. In fact, vaccines hurt people, kill people, and it affects your immune system. There's many, many negative effects of vaccines, as there's many, many negative effects of masks. And again, I appreciate other people that have their own statistics. I don't believe in them. I think they're falsified. And all we're asking for is a choice. If you guys want to wear a mask, if you want to vaccinate, by all means, do that. But this is a free country, and we have a choice to do what we want to do. And if people don't want a mask, let them not mask. If people don't want to get a vaccine, that's all we're asking for. If you want to have your statistics, that's great. But there's as many statistics that say that masks hurt people. I have 2 children that have been hurt by the mask. I've got I have many, many friends of people that have been hurt by vaccines. And so your statistics are, again, you could believe in them. I don't believe in them. I believe in our statistics. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Debbie Zofko, Vienna Township. I just wonder when we're going to stop with the charade. The charade of the vaccines and the charade of the masks. They don't work. What Michigan has been doing has not been working. When are we going to stop this game at the expense of the children? You all know that the children are being harmed. You know, what about the myocarditis, pericarditis? Are you guys willing to accept that for the children? Have their hearts injured? Shouldn't all of this be choice? The choice to wear a mask, the choice to be vaccinated, the choice of parents to have their children vaccinated. Because why do we have the rates that we have, right? We've been masking, we're vaccinating. Thank you.
You.
Lindsay Spiewak, Davison. So first of all, David Layton, I would like to thank you for taking time out of your schedule, bringing your legal team together, Brooke Tucker, Brian McMillan, Tammy Phillips, and John Poppery. Thank you for spending an hour out of all of your guys' schedule with me to help my husband and I understand the legalities, both civil and criminal, of everything. Obviously not the answer I wanted, but I sincerely appreciate your time. Thank you very much for doing that. I'm here again to address Gary Pepin. Gary, first of all, if I see you out on the street, I will still say
Excuse me,
hello
ma'am.
to you. And
Ma'am?
yes,
You are addressing the board, not individually Gary Pepin. If you'd like to meet him individually, then you need to call and try to make an appointment with him. But this is for the board as a whole.
Mark Young,
Yes.
I have come to this meeting multiple times trying to get my district commissioner to talk to me. You are the head of this commissioner board. Did you ever go to him and ask him, why are you ignoring that woman? You are head of this board.
I am appointed as
Can I please
chairman
have my
of this
2 minutes
board.
again?
You have 53 seconds left.
I'm going to ask for my 2 minutes again. I have been interrupted, please.
No. You have 46 seconds left.
David Layton, may I please have 2 minutes?
That I don't control.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
if my request is to let her have her 2 minutes.
I'm sorry?
My request is to let her have 2 minutes.
Okay. So
You gonna make the motion?
I'll make that
I'll
motion.
support it.
Okay, it's been moved and supported to give the speaker 2 minutes.
Thank you.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And that's actually what I'm here to talk about today is trust, the lack of trust that we have in our elected officials. Like I said, if I see Gary Pepin on the street, I will gladly say hello, ask how your family is, because I know you personally. But as my representative, I've been extremely disappointed by how you've handled just communication with me. I'm going to kind of refer to some of the emails that I have here. I asked very specifically, I called 4 times, I emailed 9 times, I came to 5 different meetings asking for you to reach out to me. And when I finally came up to you to talk to you, I was, or came up to talk to Gary Pepin, I will address the board. He told me that he never received any of my communications. He voted no for medical autonomy. I asked how he came to that conclusion. Who did he talk to in District 9? He told me he talked to a lot of people. And so I wanted to know how that came to be because I tried very hard to communicate with him and was ignored. And so when I asked how he communicated with constituents in his district, he said, I will not be able to give you the information you've requested. I do not keep daily logs of the people I talk to, where I talk to them, or the subject of our conversation. It would be inappropriate for me to disclose this information as it is a breach of my constituents' privacy. I said, I'm simply asking how you communicated with people in your district. Please to explain to me how this is inappropriate to disclose. I'm not asking for private information. I don't want names of the people you would talk to. I simply want to know how you have communicated with them. And he said, hey, Lindsay, I do my best to answer the concerns of my constituents. I said, Gary, why are you refusing to answer my questions? I feel as if you're deflecting and giving me blanket statements, not answering my question. Again, good morning, Lindsay. I do my best to answer the concerns of my constituents. I feel like it was just a copy and paste answer. You guys, I'm here, why?
10 seconds.
You guys, the lack of trust with government is very strong and profound with the people, and I'm hoping we can change that, and I'm hoping it starts here. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Jamie Gildner, and I am from Davison. On Saturday, my son gave up on something that he loves, not because he wasn't good at it, not because he didn't like it, because of the way that he was treated, because he's medically unable to wear a mask. When we checked in to his robotics meet, we showed his medical waiver and we were okay to go in. 3/4 of the way through the meet, a woman came up to him and asked him to put on a mask. He politely declined. She then took it upon herself to place her hands on my child and put a mask on him and told him that he had to wear it. I was standing there, I took the mask off of him, and I said, he has a medical waiver. She replied to me, I don't care, what about the old people? We care about the old people, but what about, he was not around anybody. He was around his team and his coach, who he has been in practice with the entire season, unmasked. And then she proceeded to assault me. After taking it to security, they told us absolutely he had a right to be there, sent us back upstairs, and told them that if they had an issue with it, to go down and talk to them. They apologized, and then at the end of the meet, at the award ceremony, they went on to call him out, a 10-year-old little boy, for not wearing a mask in front of everybody in that auditorium. Tell me how that's okay. Because I can tell you, I know this is different than being white and black and Mexican, but if someone got up there and called out someone for that, it would be completely unacceptable. So why are we allowing this to be done to our children? It's not okay.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Michelle Ryder, and I live in Grand Blanc. I want to start by saying how much I appreciate what you all have endured these last few months. I think it's important to recognize that most of you are doing the best you can under some really difficult circumstances, so thank you for that. I've been coming to these meetings since August, and I've listened week after week as people come up here and state their very strong, loud opinions on whether kids should be masked at schools. And I understand that's the point, of public comment, and I think it's great that there are these opportunities to hear for you guys to hear the opinions of your constituents. What I can't understand at this point is why anyone's opinion about this really matters. This is an issue that should be focused solely on science, facts, and doing what's necessary to keep our schools safely opened. Rescinding the mask mandate the week before Christmas break in the middle of a surge is not that. We're watching the cases rise while simultaneously throwing out one of our most important safety measures. Tossing this issue back to the school boards or saying that the state should handle it isn't going to keep our schools open. Universal masking and vaccines will keep our schools open. No one's opinions should interfere with keeping our kids safe. It was stated last week and bears repeating that parental autonomy does not give you the right to place your child or mine in danger. The parental autonomy doctrine refers to the principle that parents have the fundamental right to raise his or her child and make all decisions about that child free from governmental intervention, unless the child's health or welfare are jeopardized by the parent's decision. The easiest way to handle this is universal masking for all schools until the numbers are more manageable. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Leonard Martin. I'm from Richfield Township, Davison. Thank you for having the quorum. You guys have heard all the science before, but you're listening to the political scientist. Coronavirus is less than 3 microns. The mask data label right on the container says it's no good for that. That's ridiculous. The worldwide data, not just the CDC, but the worldwide data is got numerous. It's in the tens of thousands of harmful effects from getting the injection. I wear the mask, my whole sinus system plugs up, and then I start to get sick. So I don't believe what has been stated here in support of these. I'm not going to hide. Second, Mr. Pepin has missed 41 scheduled board meetings and other duties that he's been tasked in 21. He doesn't answer the constituents. Mr. Pepin, resign. A recall is forthcoming. And the last thing I got to say is there is a political hack with
10 seconds.
Information that is incorrect attacking a board member in Davison. This is crap. We should respect each other, and the evidence should be revealed when it is.
Time's up.
There'll be indictments.
Thank you.
My name is April Snyder from Grand Blanc. I have before me from the Genesee County website the job description for the medical health officer. I would like to point out a few things. In the job description, it says that she requires independent judgment with considerable consequences for errors. We have already seen some of these errors. What are you going to do when it's too late and all of these masks and vaccines have been mandated for these kids and there's even more psychological and medical errors down the road? She is appointed by and works at the pleasure of the Board of Commissioners. You brought her in, you can take her out. You don't have to go to that extreme action if you speak up and let her know what you're feeling. I can see many of you here today without masks. As we've gone through this process, there's been more and more of you. It is kind of crazy that the only place where there's mandated masks in this area are in the schools for the kids, the ones that are least susceptible to getting this. Ensures enforcement of state laws. Kind of ironic that she is not enforcing Public Act 87, that is a law. Doesn't say that she gets to give her opinion or follow the governor's opinion. It says ensures enforcement of state laws. That is a state law, and it is not being enforced. Says that she advises the county board and general population. Does not say mandate or dictate or have a tyrannical rule. It says advises them. She works for you guys. She works for us and with us. Please remember that. And the last thing I have to say is many of us are here for choice. We've been saying that for months, a choice to wear a mask, a choice to get a vaccine. If you have any
10 seconds.
influence with her with these COVID toolkits, please remind her to let the schools have a choice for that antigen testing for the students that want to have a mask. I think that's detrimental to letting both sides have their choice.
Time's up. Thank you.
My name's Sherry Martin, and I'm from Richfield Township. I would like to say that I'm very disappointed in our commissioner for our 9th district, and I would ask him to please resign. Due to all of the meetings, I can have a lot of compassion and sympathy for someone who's been ill, but if you are unable to do the job, you need to be man enough to step down. The second thing is we have a situation with a board member that has not been convicted of anything. And I would ask this board to please not remove him. He was actually voted in by the people, and the people as a whole very much support him. He's doing a lot of good for the community, in my opinion. The last thing I would like to say is that I feel very bullied by these people that come here with their masks on and come up here and they don't want to give anybody a choice. You have to wear your mask, you have to get vaccinated, you have to do, I don't know why they have so much fear. Okay, that's sad, but I don't feel that it's right of them to bully and try to take everybody's freedom from them and try to force what they believe on everyone else. They don't see on a regular basis, daily, how bullied people are being over this and how we're simply fighting for our freedoms and we're asking for
10 seconds.
choice. And I would ask this board to support our Constitution and continue to give us our freedom. Thank you.
Time's up. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Amanda Hallback. I'm City of Fenton. First time here. I hear a lot of passion from fellow U.S. citizens and Michiganders about choice, and I think that is incredibly important. Based on what we've seen from health departments, we know that masks, when I wear a mask, it protects me a little bit, but I wear it to protect others. That is the main goal of masking. So just as I believe that people should have choice to mask their children in school, but if they decide not to, that impacts my child's ability to be safe at school, since we know that masks protect everyone around us when we wear them. I understand from a public health standpoint that masks are, or a mandate for masks are a last resort. And now that we have vaccines for ages 5 and up on the table, it would seem like a good idea to open up the choice for everyone. What I'm concerned about is the amount of vaccine uptake from our community. And so removing the masks removes a layer of protection for students. Since I am City of Fenton, I'm very close to the border of Livingston County, where currently there are no mask mandates in schools, and their numbers are very, very high. And oftentimes some of the schools in the county are going virtual because of the amount of students have dropped below what they should be in the building.
10 seconds.
So I'm also concerned from a local economic standpoint, what that would do to your constituents as far as jobs, childcare, everything like that. So thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, seeing no one in line for public comment, public comment's now closed. Moving on to nothing in communications. Moving on to appointments. Number 1, approval of a request to appoint Gary Jones to serve the remainder of a term on the Board of Directors for Genesee Health Systems. It's been moved, it's been supported. Is there any discussion? Commissioner Shoemaker.
I think, looking at the candidates, the next 3, I think they're all qualified. I just still think our process can be refined on this to produce, more of a favorable outcome for our residents, something more transparent. But I think all 3, will do a great job from there. So my no is not against the candidate, my no is against the process from here. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Commissioner Ellenberg?
Mr. Chair, basically, when I was appointed to the GHS board, I basically replaced Gary Jones. And I'm glad to see him back on that board. He adds a really good knowledge of how that board works. And he does sit on the higher, like the District 10s of GHS. So he is on that board. So I think he'll be an asset for GHS. And I'm glad that we're putting him back on that board. So look forward to working with him.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item, number 2, approval of request to reappoint
Support.
Fred Myers to serve a 3-year term on Bishop Airport Authority. It's been moved, it's been supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item, number 3, approval of a request to reappoint Scott Henry to serve on Bishop Airport's board. Been moved, it's been supported. Is there any discussion? Commissioner Ellenberg.
Just a comment. I know we did have a process where we were interviewing, what Mr. Shoemaker was talking about. But sometimes experience and trying to keep everybody up to date. I know Meredith sits on a board with me with 911, and to replace somebody that has 5 or 6 years of experience on how that board works it really just causes a problem, for the county. Experience is something that's very, very, I think, very important on some of these boards. And like Fred and Scott have been on the airport board, and I just feel that sometimes you just need that experience, and that's why we don't interview for other ones. And I do agree that some of the new boards that maybe we should interview, just so that we get to meet the people and talk to them and find out what they're getting from it. And then we learn a bit from like the airport board, because I have no idea what the airport does, and you probably don't either. So, I like the aspect of interviewing, or at least talking to the people, the candidates that are interested in these boards. So maybe down the road that we can at least talk with them, even though we might appoint the same person. I just think that conversation is good. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Commissioner Shoemaker.
I agree with Commissioner Ellenberg. Experience is good. I also agree, though, that sometimes fresh eyes sometimes are a good way to refresh a stagnant board. And this board's responsibility is to place a person that's going to actually do the job, invest in the job. And whether we like it or not sometimes, and Commissioner Nolden and I talk about this with certain person and people on the health board, but at least they're doing their job. They're actually asking questions. They're actually involved. They're reading bylaws. They're doing stuff like that. And some people are offended. Bureaucrats within our county are offended by that, because guess what? They're having to work and actually look up paperwork and do things. But I think it's wonderful. So, and I hope, and that was formed from a board that was actually created by a former chairperson, Democrat, Commissioner Kuzno. And so I agree that experience is it. And if they are the best person for the job, they should get the job without a doubt. But also at times we have to be in the position and wise enough to understand that and know what's going on in these departments. That's what I thought was fascinating about it when we did start making these appointments. Most of us vote for these people because somebody recommended them, they know them or whatever else like that, but we really don't have a full understanding of what that board does. And I think that appointment process kind of opened our eyes a little more to it. So I'm just hoping we move forward with something a little more elaborate, but I do understand what you're saying, and I can agree with it, but I also think sometimes fresh eyes are a good thing, so thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carried. Moving on to reports. Move on to item B, Community Economic Development. Commissioner Deborah Newman, Chairperson, Meredith Davis, Vice Chair. Commissioner Newman?
Sir, I would like to move 1 through 10.
Support.
Been moved and supported to move items 1 through 10. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Do we have a report from the chairperson?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Moving on, Finance Committee, Commissioner Gary Peppin, Chairperson, Dominic Clemens, Interim Vice Chair.
Chairman, I'd like to move items 1 through 22.
Been
They've been
moved
through,
and
they've been
supported.
through Finance Sub and Finance Committee both.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that
I
last.
said they've been through Finance Sub and Finance Committee.
Okay. Okay, it's been moved, it's been supported. Items 1 through 22. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Do we have a report from the chairperson?
Not this time.
Thank you. Moving on, Governmental Operations Committee, Commissioner Bryant Nolden, Chairperson, Ellen Ellenberg, Vice Chair.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Items 1 through 14, is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Do we have a report from the chairperson? Thank you. Moving on, item E, Human Services Committee, Commissioner Charles Winfrey, Chairperson, Ellen Ellenberg, Vice Chair. Commissioner Winfrey?
Thank you. This time I'd like to move items 1, 2, and 3.
All right, it's been moved and supported, items 1, 2, and 3. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Do we have a report from the chairperson?
None, thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, Public Works Committee, Commissioner Dominic Clemens, Chairperson, Sean Shoemaker, Vice Chair.
I'd like to move item 1, the approval of modification number 4 of the contract between Genesee County and Access Interactive.
Support.
Right, it's been moved and supported. Item number 1, is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move item 2, approval of modification number 1 of a contract between Genesee County and LA Construction.
Right, item number 2 has been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Do we have a report from the chairperson?
No report.
Right, we have no unfinished business, no new and miscellaneous business.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
if I could, if Mr. Palmer wouldn't mind coming up and kind of let us know what's going on with the veterans and some of the events that are coming up that we are helping out. I know you've been doing like the backpack program, and can you explain a little bit to us and maybe to the public on, what a fine job you're doing in the Veterans Department?
Well, good morning. We are trying to do the best we can in getting stuff done around. We hit all of the senior centers. We've hit a couple events of recent. We're getting out to the American Legions, and we're starting to probably, I think on the 13th, we're going to start one of the first for the backpacks for the homeless veterans. We're, like I said, dedicated to spending the $252,000 as much in Genesee County as possible. Mom and pop stores, keeping them open. We also got the letter, I forwarded it to you, about this last year's grant that we had originally had $86,000. I had overspent the grant by $14,000. Some of the other counties had not spent it, so they granted Genesee County an additional $14,000 in reimbursement. We plan on hitting every Thanksgiving, Veterans Day. We were all day on Veterans Day, just hitting event after event, just trying to get the word out there. And we actually are starting another program too. Well, not another program, trying to do something a little bit more for the surviving spouses on showing a little more gratitude for them as well, since they also support the veteran and have been through the whole thing. And we are just trying to push forward every day and try to come up with new ideas and to help improve the system.
I've been seeing a lot on Facebook and a lot of your advertisement on Facebook, and I try to share it as much as possible, but you've done a really good job. You've turned the Veterans Department around. I think more people know about it and that there is services available, so I appreciate that.
Doing our best. That's
All right,
what I hear. I
thank
have
you.
the passion for it, so.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you.
I have one more. If Barry June is in the audience, could you talk about what's going on Parks and Rec and when the lights where they can drive through and all that kind of?
Morning, Commissioners.
Good
I'd be
morning.
happy to talk about Crossroads Village and our opening day on this Friday. The festivities commence at 7:15 p.m. I hope you can all come out. We're going to have fireworks. It's free admission for all Genesee County residents. And the event will run through the end of December on the
It's
weekends.
like everybody's doing their tree lighting on the same day. So it's like, so that's this Friday, the tree lighting?
This Friday at
Okay.
7:15. So we'll hope you can all make it.
Are you doing the market thing that you used to do?
Well, all the stores are open for Christmas shopping
Okay.
in the village. And
All
we
right.
did Ladies' Night Out last week. if
Oh,
that's
yeah,
maybe
that
what
was
you're
for the
thinking
deer
about.
season.
That was very successful
I
as well.
missed it. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'd be remiss if I didn't do this. We are actually having the Burston Christmas lighting this Saturday at Burston Fieldhouse. Last year, we lit it up, and we had a great turnout. The Flint Institute of Music had the symphony horn section, and they performed. Well, this year, we're going to do something similar. We have a 40-member citywide choir that's going to perform, and it's going to be led by Jeffrey LaValle, who is a well-known music director. We also have a Temptation Review Band that's going to also perform. Yesterday, they brought out a 30-foot Christmas tree, and it's right smack dab in the middle of the baseball field. And they're going to decorate it, and we're going to have lighting and other things for the kids. We're going to have giveaways. We have gifts that we're going to be giving away. We have popcorn, hot cocoa, and other things that we're going to give out as well. It's Saturday, this Saturday, starts at 6, ends at 8 o'clock. So if you're not doing anything, please come out. It's also going to be live streamed through the Facebook page at the FIM. So those that might not be able to come out and see it personally, you can actually view it through Facebook or through YouTube this Saturday from 6 to 8. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Clemens.
On a little bit of a more somber note, as we are all aware, this week within my district, in the 4th Commission District in the 8th Ward of the City of Flint, we had an explosion that impacted 3 houses that were completely destroyed and 17 houses in the neighborhood that have seen significant damage. As we're going into this holiday season with Thanksgiving, I ask that everyone can look into their heart to help those families that are currently displaced on the west side of Flint. Catholic Charities, Hand of God Ministries, and United Way are all collecting donations of various goods and items to help those families, and most importantly, to keep those families in your prayers, especially the 2 separate families that have had loss of life because of the explosion.
Thank you. Commissioner Shoemaker.
I just wanted to say, may everyone have a happy Thanksgiving and be smart, be safe, and hug your loved ones and enjoy your time with them. Because we're all blessed to have them. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right, seeing no other new and miscellaneous business, no other business, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Are we going to go right into finance, or are we going to have a few minutes?
What do you want?
It's up to you.